Hello everyone, and welcome to another Monica at Home Porn News Today and Christian Porn Star webcast. My name is Alexandra, but I'm better known to many of you as Monica Foster. I'm sure many of you follow me on Twitter, on twitter.com/Monica Foster. I wanted to post this webcast over the weekend, but I needed some time to think about how to present the following information to you. Many of you, I'm certain, have followed me over the years. You followed me from being a cam girl to going into the Los Angeles porn industry, to me leaving the Los Angeles porn industry and choosing to speak out, to me battling people who did not want me to speak out, who have done everything in their power to stifle my freedom of speech, up to the present. I suppose a lot of the reason that I continued with the work that I've done over the years has been because I have been looking for answers, along with closure. I have wanted to save people, but I think all in all, my journey really has been about saving myself. And now I feel that my journey is about saving many children that are out there. If you have been following my Twitter over the past few days, you are aware that I have been just basically tweeting the same thing over and over again. And I have been demanding statements from 4 people who are attached to the political face of the Los Angeles porn industry. Now, the political face of the porn industry is called the Free Speech Coalition. You can go to their website and learn what it's all about. But the 4 people that I am making this video to formally demand statements from are named Diane Duke, Christian Mann, Mark Randazzo, and Julie Meadows. I'm formally demanding statements in regards to their affiliations and associations with an internationally known convicted pedophile by the name of Kurt Bracco. That's the name that he goes by today. His entire full name is August Kurt Bracco, but he's better known internationally as Kurt Treptow. Now, I'm a far better researcher and writer than I am a speaker, so bear with me. But I'm going to do my best to give you all some background in regards to the situation of the Free Speech Coalition associating openly with an internationally known convicted pedophile. But I do suggest that you all go to www.pornnewstoday.com and look at the 3rd most recent and the 2nd most recent posts on that website. I actually have chosen to not update Porn News Today any longer until the Free Speech Coalition, which again is the political face and lobbying group of the United States porn industry. I will not be updating that site until they issue formal statements in regards to this situation, because it's completely out of control. At this stage, the executive director of the Free Speech Coalition, along with the other parties I have named, are all extremely aware of the situation. They have actually issued press releases in regards to other pertinent matters that have to do with the porn industry, but they appear to have refused to address this issue. And I've decided that I'm not going to let it slide, and I ask all of you out there who watch this video, who care about stopping child pornography, pedophilia, and child abuse, to email the executive director of the Free Speech Coalition, along with the other parties of which I will go over later in this video and ask them why they refuse to address this matter. Now, getting back to August Kurt Brakob, also known as Kurt Treptow. Starting back around 2002, Brakob Treptow made international news headlines in regards to being convicted in Romania for having sex with a 13-year-old girl. Most likely there were other children that he was involved with as well. However, these children seem to have been orphans, and only one parent came forward in their legal system to ensure that Brakob/Treptow faced justice. He served close to 5 years in prison in Romania. Then he left Romania and came back here to the United States. Now, since he's come back to the United States, he somehow managed to get involved with the Libertarian Party of Nevada. And just so that all of you know, none of this is speculation, this is all fact. You can research this man, Kurt Brakob or Kurt Treptow, very easily through Google or a plethora of other search engines, and thousands of results will come up in regards to this man's history. So anyway, he somehow manages to establish the position as treasurer with the Libertarian Party of Nevada, and it was just this year that he was forced to resign. And again, I have all of these matters that I'm relating to you right now linked up on pornnewstoday.com. Now, unfortunately, before Brakob or Treptow resigned from the Libertarian Party of Nevada, he was able to hook up with the Free Speech Coalition. Beginning January of this year, Brakob Treptow spoke on a panel at the XBiz 360 conference. He wasn't just in the audience or anything. He spoke on the panel to a multitude of porn industry professionals about who knows what. Now, this particular panel was moderated by the executive director of the Free Speech Coalition, Diane Duke. Now, here's where Diane Duke, this is where her credibility really comes into question, because how would it be that she or anyone that she works with would moderate and assemble even a panel to speak to porn industry professionals without researching who they've invited to speak on that panel? Again, a very simple Google search would have turned up Brakob or Treptow's past. So, being that he was on that panel, that tells me that either Diane Duke, the executive director of the Free Speech Coalition, is completely incapable of doing her job, along with her team, or she simply didn't care that he was a convicted pedophile. And also possibly a child pornographer, you know. In a lot of the Romanian news sources, and just so that many of you know, there has been a resurgence in international news since I first uncovered this data. And I uncovered this data approximately 13 days ago now, on November 20th. People have begun to mention Brakob and Treptow in the news again. So that tells me that people are watching, most likely the Federal Bureau of Investigation, because he would be on a watch list. Now let's cut to April of 2013. It appears that Brakob Treptow utilized his connections within the Libertarian Party of Nevada to put together a discussion panel or speaking engagement, of which Christian Mann, General Manager of the porn studio Evil Angel, Executive Director, once again, Diane Duke of the Free Speech Coalition, Julie Meadows, a adult industry blogger and interviewer, along with First Amendment attorney Mark Randazza, were all invited. They were all invited to this discussion panel right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Through my research, I was able to find that not only were many people in the Libertarian Party of Nevada present at this particular discussion panel, but it was Bracco Treptow himself who funded this discussion panel and luncheon. As of current, the only person within the Los Angeles porn industry who has given this particular matter the attention it deserves is Robert Zacari, also known or better known as Rob Black of theroblackshow.com. A couple other porn news bloggers have trivialized this matter, but this is no trivial matter. At this stage, the way that I view the situation, especially being that none of the parties that I've mentioned have given any formal statements or mention in regards to Bracco Treptow, it seems to me that the Free Speech Coalition is officially condoning a child pornographer and a pedophile. And again, this Free Speech Coalition is the political face and lobbying group of the porn industry. And this simply cannot be. It's not acceptable. It should not be tolerated. And I ask all of you who are my fans, friends, followers, and maybe you're a foe. Maybe you're someone who doesn't like me. You need to put all your feelings aside. This isn't personal. This is about humanity. And this is about children. Now tonight, before I put this webcast together, and this has actually been a very difficult matter for me to research and discuss because it's so hurtful. It really is. I've dealt with this Free Speech Coalition in regards to their attacks upon me. I've seen them attack others. I've dealt with the porn industry saying and doing so many horrific things to me personally, to my family, and I've seen them do it to so many other people. But this is just almost unreal, but it is real. So it's time for people to stand up, because every porn star at one point in time was someone's child. And I mean it when I say that. And something crossed my mind tonight that I want to touch on. A lot of porn stars were sexually abused as children. A lot of sex workers were sexually abused and molested as children. I'm very fortunate to come from a decent family. I was never sexually abused as a child. But what I realized tonight is that it's quite possible that the Free Speech Coalition condones pedophilia because it's pedophiles that really help the porn industry continue. Because when you really think about how many porn stars would never have gone into the sex industry if they hadn't been molested as children. Is it possible that this Free Speech Coalition celebrates the pedophiles? Is it possible that they think to themselves, hey, great, go ahead and molest as many kids as possible. That way we have a never-ending supply of people to peddle. Because really, that's what this comes down to. And this is why this is such an important issue. And this is why I decided that I will not be updating Porn News Today with anything else until statements are made from these people. And even after that, I still might not. Because in my view, there is no more porn news. This is it. This is the truth of what the porn industry is. A safe haven that condones and accepts and celebrates pedophilia. Now, before I end this video, because I'm keeping it short and sweet, along with my formal request of statements from Diane Duke, Christian Mann, Mark Randazza, and Julie Meadows, I'm also making a formal request of Larry Flint of LFP Productions, or Larry Flint Productions, Hustler, whatever you want to deem it. Larry Flint, you need to pull that movie, Not the Cosby's XXX #2. Why? Because that movie depicts a child being raped. It really does. You know, whenever I bring this up, there's someone out there, and I have a feeling I know exactly who it is, who loves to bring up the fact, well, Monica, you know, you're in that movie. Well, you know what? When I signed up to be in that movie, I did not know that the character of Rudy would have a scene. Now, I didn't just act and perform in Not the Cosby's XXX #2. I also assisted with the wardrobe. And when Scott David and I were putting the wardrobe together for the various characters, I specifically chose wardrobe for the character of Rudy that would have been wardrobe that a teenager would have worn. However, when that movie was shot, the director of that movie, Jeff Mullen, also known as Will Ryder, refused for that character, the actress, her name was Nina Devon, he refused for her to wear any of the wardrobe that I had selected. He only dressed her in white tights and a little girl's dress, Mary Jane shoes, and her hair was in pigtails. In the 80s, no teenager in their late teens would have worn that outfit. Now, when that sex scene was shot for the character of Rudy, he had her, just for the icing on the cake, he had her sitting on a little white rocking horse prior to the sex beginning in the scene. And that scene has haunted me till this day. I look at that scene like, almost like an instance, a post-instance of molestation as an adult that I've had to deal with. Because when I was a little girl in elementary school, my mother dressed me in outfits that were not that dissimilar from the outfit that the character of Rudy wore. So that movie needs to be pulled, because no little girl has sex like that. And that scene, the only kind of person that scene would ever appeal to would be someone like Treptow or Bracco. And there's another thing I need to mention too. You know, Will Ryder at one stage wrote on a porn industry blog that he wished I would go ahead and commit suicide. He has since apologized for that, so I give him that. But he contacted me fairly recently and asked that I would remove some things from pornnewstoday.com about him, and he shared that he is leaving the porn industry. You know, initially I told him that this is an announcement that is his announcement to make. But being that I'm making this video today, and being that he said something to me that I'm going to share with many of you in just a bit, you know, maybe it's not his announcement to make. He shared with me that he's moving away from the porn industry, and that whatever career he's going into, he has to have a sparkling clean image, but that he has no regrets in regards to anything that he ever did within the Los Angeles porn industry. Now, it seems to me if you don't have any regrets about anything you've done when you've worked in the Los Angeles porn industry, then you also shouldn't have a problem with anything that anyone's written about you or anyone's opinion in regards to your actions. Now, on November 20th, after I posted these findings on Bracco Treptow and the Free Speech Coalition, Will writer Jeff Mullen emailed me saying that he hadn't had a chance to put the list together of the URLs of which, for whatever reason, he feels would hinder anything he chooses to do professionally in the future. And I replied saying that I found what I found in regards to the Free Speech Coalition, and that the only person who's chosen to speak out about this issue, aside from myself, has been Robert Zakari, Rob Black, and that he could really use someone else with a voice and influence to take a stand with him against pedophilia and child pornography, and people in the Free Speech Coalition obviously condoning it. And Will Writer / Jeff Mullen replied saying that he couldn't do that. I found that very interesting because there's nothing that was stopping him from standing with Rob Black. He could have, but he chose not to. He could have dressed the character of Rudy as someone in her late teens. You know, he wanted to keep that movie as close to the original Cosby Show as possible, so if that's really what you wanted to do, that's what you would have done. But he chose to dress her like a little girl, somewhere between the ages of 7 years old and 10 years old. So, to you, Larry Flynt, I ask you to completely pull that movie from the market. Not the first Cosby's parody, the second one, because it depicts child molestation and or child rape. Now, someone has shared with me that pretty much any state or city prosecutor could take that movie to court. You know, I believe it was in the 90s that a free speech attorney, all of you should look up the case of Free Speech Coalition versus Ashcroft, because at one point in time, such a movie as Not the Cosby's XXX Number 2 would have automatically been deemed as child pornography. But it was a particular Free Speech Coalition attorney who managed to get the definition of what child pornography is redefined. Gosh, what was this? attorney's name. I believe his name is Lou Serkin. I'll put it up when I put this webcast up because it's going to be, I need to finish this now. But that particular case needs to be readdressed or reopened because I don't think that the definition of child pornography is broad enough. Now, one more thing that I do want to add in regards to Treptow Bracco is that he has been actively working with the Free Speech Coalition to overturn the 2257 record-keeping law. The 2257 record-keeping law is a law that helps prevent pornographers from filming minors. That record-keeping law needs to stay in place so that minors are not easily put in pornographic material. So I guess I started out this webcast fairly strong, ended a little bit emotional, but ever since November 20th, since I've uncovered all this info, I've been a little bit of an emotional wreck because there is no greater crime, in my view, than child abuse, especially pedophilia. And I really think, I have to think this, that that one of the main reasons that people within the Los Angeles porn industry haven't come out to speak about this is because so many of them were molested as children. I think that this particular issue coming to light might have triggered quite a few people, but you know what? The time to be shocked and traumatized is over. Los Angeles porn industry professionals and porn industry professionals in general. Whether you're a performer, director, studio owner, distributor, someone behind the scenes, if you don't speak out, whether you are associated with the Free Speech Coalition or not, at this point in time, you're condoning pedophilia. Because whether you like it or not, this Free Speech Coalition, this group of people, they are speaking for you. And they should not speak for you if you don't condone pedophilia. So that's it. I hope you all have a great holiday season, and I'm sure that I'll be around next year and many years following that. Have a great day or have a good night. Bye-bye.